It's Quarantine Tonight with Dustin Becker. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Blast you.
I know. I need your patina. Say it like a baby.
It's probably going to pick up mic noise. Might have, because those are still. It would trip you out, I bet. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quarantine Tonight. Before we get into the show tonight, we have a special Memorial Day tribute by Quarantine Tonight's house band, Phil Seagram. Take it away, Phil. All right. Take it away, Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time again for the #1 YouTube-based Instagram late-night talk show, Quarantine Tonight.
If Corona's got you home, sitting staring at your phone, make you feel alright on Quarantine Tonight.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make you feel all right on Quarantine Tonight. We do a few jokes before we get into the show. Here's joke #1. J.K. Rowling shocked Harry Potter superfans across the globe Thursday by revealing the true origins of her books. Legend had it, the billionaire author first put pen to paper in the Elephant House Cafe in Scotland. But Rowling corrected the record via Twitter, explaining she actually started writing the books in a flat she rented above a sports shop. It's a shocking revelation indeed, almost as shocking as a recently uncovered manifesto in which Michelangelo revealed his masterpiece paintings on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel were actually paint by numbers.
Uno is a red, due is a blue, tre is a yellow, quattro is a pink, cinque is an orange, six is a purple, sette, is like a black or like a gray, otto is a very nice lemon yellow, and nove is pink.
Quite the drop.
That was Michelangelo explaining his colors on his paint by numbers.
I have been to the Elephant Cafe in Scotland, so.
Well, that's a worthless experience now. Thanks, JK. No, JK.
They probably got so much business because of that. Now they're like, damn you.
Well, there apparently she wrote some of it there, but she started it up above a sports shop. Here we go. Here's another joke. I love jokes. A University of Phoenix poll revealed only 43% of 2,000 Americans surveyed were aware of the inspiration behind Memorial Day. I can't believe folks are so quick to forget the important societal contributions of Dr. Memorial.
Dr. Memorial.
He was an important man, that Dr. Memorial. It's an important day. Can't believe people have already forgotten him. Joe Biden drew criticism from some for speaking with a black accent during an interview with DJ Charlemagne Lagarde on Breakfast Club radio show. I've actually got a recording of the Breakfast Club radio show interview with Joe Biden. Let's give it a listen and decide for ourselves if Joe Biden did anything offensive. Here, hang on one sec.
Booyakasha! West End's massive in the house, all right?
I guess that doesn't really sound like his regular voice. He might have been trying to kind of change his voice a little bit to maybe resonate with the African American community.
Booyakasha!
Sleeping again.
Could have been sleepwalking.
Might have been sleep talking.
Sleepy Joe. As Vegas slowly reopens, gamblers will face new COVID safety procedures. Dice, for instance, will be disinfected between crap shooters, and casinos will provide those little computer keyboard compressed air dusters to nice-looking ladies asked to blow on dice for good luck. Can you blow on this? No, with the compressed air duster, that's not COVID friendly. Thank you. That's where the jokes laugh would have gone. A new reality dating series on Fox is sparking controversy for its promise to skip the dating and go straight to the baby making as 15 men compete to see who will impregnate a 41-year-old divorcee. I think that show already exists. It's called Tinder. You seen that?
Real?
That's for real.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We are scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
Getting out the little paint chipper and getting off the last few
Just
little
when I thought
morsels.
Married at First Sight was the worst. They can do worse.
They can top themselves always.
You know,
Oh, God.
she wants to have a kid, and so they have all these handsome men on there, and they get, you know, the biological clock is a ticking. So who's to judge? I'm sure she'll find some love. Researchers in Australia have achieved a world record internet speed of 44.2 terabits per second, allowing users to download 1,000 HD movies in a single second. Just for reference, the average download speed in Australia is 43.4 megabytes in Australia, 197.3 on average in Singapore, and 0.001 at grandma's house. Grandma.
And here at our house.
Our house's internet's brutal. I'm still so jealous of DJ's internet connection from the last show. He looked like super crystal clear.
I don't know what you guys are seeing, but you both clearly noticed it. So I couldn't tell on my end.
I just saw a little bit better frame rate, I guess, is what I saw. Garbage collectors striking in New Orleans for hazard pay, sick leave, and PPE were replaced by work release inmates from Livingston Parish, who, according to state law, will be paid $1.33 an hour, which is 87% cheaper than the usual $10.25 per hour by the usual garbage collectors. No word yet if other critical public utilities like the New Orleans Police Department will seek to cut labor costs by outsourcing jobs to prisoners.
Inmate Cops is filmed on location as it happens. All suspects are considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Get down on the ground, I'm going to shank you.
That was a good shank.
Back to the shanking.
The shank sound effect from the inmate cop.
Oh, man.
You got to cut costs, man. You can't pay these people what they're worth.
God forbid.
SpaceX will launch 2 astronauts into space on Wednesday. The first manned flight from U.S. soil in 9 years. Oh, that's a cool backdrop. SpaceX is poised to become the first private company to ferry astronauts to the International Space Station, a journey that will take 19 hours, just long enough to hear all the times SpaceX founder Elon Musk said on the latest Joe Rogan podcast. Go ahead and grab a drink. He said it 250 something times.
Woo.
Smartest man in the world, and he did not go to public speaking class. Remember that in grade school? You did very nice, Jessica, but a few less ums and likes, and you would have really nailed it.
Yep.
The man can get us to Mars, but he can't finish a thought without
The last time he was on there, he got in big trouble, so I'm sure he was mincing his words.
Yeah, he smoked up one of them doobies. When he smoked up a doobie, it plummeted Tesla's stock, so he probably was a little bit more cautious.
Ridiculous.
Drugs. For the last joke of the evening, I'd like to bring in a listener submission by one of our old friends, Nigel Fiddlebottom from Grown Man Radio. Nigel used to do the word of the night for us. So thanks to Nigel for sending this new word of the night in for us.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of The Word of the Night. Tonight's word is rectitudinous. Rectitudinous, an adjective meaning righteous or correct. Conservative talking head Ann Coulter called President Trump the R word on Twitter the other day. Quoth, President Trump is the most rectitudinous fellow to have ever set foot in the Oval Office. This has been another edition of The Word of the Night. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel, but I hate to break it to you, buddy. I see a different R word used in Ann Coulter's tweet there about the president. I might be having my sources crossed up there, but that's how we do it on Quarantine Tonight.
If Corona's got you home, sitting staring at your phone, will make you feel alright on Quarantine Tonight.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Quarantine Tonight, the internet's probably only talk show live streaming deal on YouTube and on Instagram. It's a live streaming show that you can call in. If you can't see behind my beautiful wife's head there, the phone number is 925-726-3224. If you'd like to call and join us tonight on the show, that phone number is going to be open sesame, and we'd love to talk with you. And we're going to get to our guest this evening once I pull up my Google Voice machine. In the meantime, Phil, how's everything going in Boston?
Oh, we're doing great. There was solid Memorial Day weather. I mean, we just kind of sat in our house a lot. We did get out hiking yesterday, though.
Oh, nice. I saw Jenny's Instagram. I was jealous.
We were in the trees.
Where'd you go hiking?
I mean, there's a lot of nature right outside Boston. You just go
Nature.
southwest or north.
Well, that's wonderful, Phil. I'm glad you got outside, and hope we get to speak with your lovely wife later on for our new music and movie segment. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome in our guest all the way from Oceanside, California, Dustin Becker.
Hey, there he is.
Dustin, welcome to Quarantine Tonight, amigo.
Hey, glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. That's quite a background you have there. Can you explain what we're looking at?
Well, if you scroll back into the history that is maybe Facebook and or maybe MySpace, Mr. Phil Seagram has a luscious head of hair on him when he lets that grow out. So in true patriotic fashion, I did a little Andy Warhol background with the stars and red, white, and blue to celebrate this this holiday. Be thankful for those who served.
That's beautiful. It has kind of a it look to it too. Like the top left one has a little bit of a it factor.
Top left one is creepy.
Yep. Yep.
That's
A
you,
little bit.
Phil?
Yeah, I can get a pretty mean afro going.
Yeah. The one that is most like Phil is right here.
Oh, the most visible, yeah. The mug shot, so to
most
speak.
visible.
Circa 2010, I believe.
It's one of my favorite photos of Phil ever, probably ever.
And that's a Green Bay Packers hat on. What's the story with Green Bay?
Well, it's a little camo. I want to do a little salute to service, and I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan. Love the cheeseheads. So,
any updates on the Brett Favre fraud issues, where he was apparently got some money to do something that he didn't do, and he said, "No, that's not true."
Clay, I've been instructed not to make comment on ongoing investigations. So,
I see. As an official representative of Mr. Favre's camp,
as an official representative,
Copper fit socks.
Well, he's still getting that revenue. That's coming in strong. So, we're focused on the future, Clay. We've made a terrible draft pick. Rodgers is going to come out firing this year, but we're here to have a good time, not dive too deep into the mistakes that have been made by past quarterbacks, because you can go down the laundry list. So
fair enough. I respect that. We try to keep it classy here. We try to encourage, entertain, and educate.
Yeah.
If we can hit 2 or 3 of those in any given night, we're doing pretty good here on Quarantine Tonight. And so, Dustin, to get to know you a little bit better, if someone just tuned in on the internet machine and they see you with this Phil Seagram Afro Andy Warhol thing, they don't know who this person Dustin Becker is. And so can we do a little speed dating word association here to get to know you better as a person deep down to the marrow?
I love it. Fire away.
Okay, first question of the evening. The best fast food chain is?
Taco Bell.
I think Melissa would agree.
Oh,
Jenny might too.
I love a crunch wrap.
Oh my gosh.
What's your go-to order at the T-Bell?
Oh, well, it depends. If I'm sober, it's drastically different. So
Can you order Taco Bell sober?
Oh, yes, you can.
I thought you had to blow into the menu for them to display the menu.
Well, that's like the 12 to, I think they're open till 2 a.m. Menu. I think that's when they pull out the breathalyzer, and then somebody comes up, takes your order. So I'd
back
say
of the Uber, obviously, in the back of the Uber. You're not driving.
Yeah. Obviously, safety first, then teamwork. But the staple on the menu, I'd say, has to probably be the cheesy gordita crunch. It's one of the fan favorites. So
Melissa just let out a very primal.
So, I go all through the spectrum. But Melissa, what's your go-to?
Oh, actually, I'm the same as you. It depends. I really like their chicken burritos, but if I've been drinking, I want a crunch wrap so bad.
Yep.
She made a gourmet crunch wrap the other day as a part of Sunflower Catering's outreach program, and it was splendid.
They're actually pretty easy to make at home, and you don't get a gut bomb after. What do you know?
Go figure, huh?
Well, we've got some viewers back home already chiming in. Robert Brokaw says, "Happy Memorial Day and good evening to the QT crew. Good to see you." And Lane Tidwell says, "Hi, Clay, Melissa. Phil looks good as usual. Thanks for watching, guys."
Yeah, that's my man.
Okay, Dustin. Dusty Dust. Chunky or creamy peanut butter?
Oof. Nowadays, because I have kids, we're creamy. But back in the day, I was all about that chunk.
Chunk
so you got to go. So kids are not going to be part of a chunk program?
We have 2 dictators around this household, so we do not get any chunky here.
Is that what it says on your knuckles, Dustin? Is it chunk life? I can't remember.
yeah, chunk life,
Well, now it should say smooth life.
All right. I want this quick bing bang, real quick. Don't think about it too much. The best movie is
Wedding Crashers.
Wow. Okay, good answer. Why?
The back and forth. I mean, the back and forth between the two main characters. There are very few comedic movies that you have that much just like quick, sharp, quick-witted, good segments that are just funny. You can watch it over and over, and there are too many good one-liners out of there.
Good answer. Good answer. Just responding to some of our fans here on YouTube machine. The best band, Dustin Becker, is.
Ooh, I mean, obviously Creed. I mean, Creed is probably the best band just out there right now.
This a sarcastic answer, Phil, or is this a real answer?
Definitely gotta be sarcastic.
Oh,
I don't know the
man.
Dustin Baker well enough to know if he likes Creed. What's Creed's famous song? I will be your hero.
Can you take me?
Oh, that's beautiful.
There we go. There we go.
Maybe we can do that as a sing-along
But
later.
it's like Creed, Nickelback. They're kind of the same.
They are one and the same.
Which is better, Creed or Nickelback?
I appreciate Creed
They're
more.
the
Oh,
same.
I would say Creed. Nickelback is, you're
Why
in a
does
dark
everybody
place.
hate on
Nickelback
Nickelback?
has some
Everybody
good
hates on
songs.
Nickelback. I mean, just because they said, look at that photograph every time I do it makes me laugh, doesn't mean that all of their other verses are complete trash.
I like them.
Although there's this new guy out. His name's Oliver Tree. Well, I
Oh,
wouldn't say new,
wow.
but
That's the one guy that I found that I like.
spectacular. I mean, like really good music, just very like emerging, like blending different styles, like really has a unique sound. Like I think he's very, very creative in his music making right now.
And he's like multi-platform.
And he just keeps procrastinating putting out his album. But my buddy got me turned on to him. He's great, easy listening. He's definitely kind of in the mix right now.
Who's your buddy?
He's my buddy, one of my good friends. He's my video editor, Adam Nixon, Nollywood Productions, Nolly Nixon. Just find him on Instagram. He takes pictures of his dogs all the time.
I like that.
Dustin, here's a little Ollie in the background. This is when I'm feeling like a little uninspired creatively. I put this on and I'm like, Oliver Tree, preach, man. He's so creative. It's unbelievable. These $1 million music videos that he's doing on YouTube.
And he's producing them. That's the amazing part.
And he's got the bowl cut, for those of you who don't know him, and like the ski jacket, blue and neon red ski jacket. Unbelievable bowl cut. And he like started out his career as an extreme scooterer. And I think that's kind of the message of this song was like, I was moving while you guys were standing still doing my scooter thing. And basically he has a lot of like philosophy in his songs. He's talking about, just get out there and do stuff and try stuff. And he talks about getting in your own head, and it's pretty cool. So check out Oliver Tree. Man, I think this is my new favorite guest of all time.
Welcome to Clay's TED Talk.
Okay. Your biggest inspiration is?
Probably my parents, just being able to reflect on life, all the things that I was a pain in the ass to them for, and they kind of showed me a little grace, taught me some lessons along the way, but let me kind of fail and were there for me. I think that was pretty amazing in, creating who I was or who I am, as a person.
Shout out to Dwight and Connie.
Can we steal a little vibe from Dax Shepard's show? He'd always say, "And Mom, what did Mom do?" And
Mom would always be hard on me, yell at me, and we'd argue. But at the end of the day, she'd walk up and give me a big old mom hug that you can't take back nowadays.
Was she the taskmaster?
Oh yeah, she was the drill sergeant, the taskmaster. My dad was the fun one. He was my buddy, he's my friend, but Mom was definitely the drill sergeant.
I think that's going to be the dynamic when we start popping out little niños.
That's what I thought too, but
you already have a niño.
You never know. You never
Do
know.
you have a newfound appreciation for your parents when you became a parent? Like, do you
I
want
do.
to apologize for everything you put them through?
It's been good. I think it's given us a better relationship. We're more open. But I think, it it gives you a deeper appreciation for what your parents went through and all the grief that you give them as a kid, and thinking that you know what's right. And, when they tell you to go right, you want to go left, and then you make a U-turn and you're going right again. I mean, it was a lot of kind of life-changing, epiphanies, if you will.
Make a U-turn, you're going right again. That is blowing my mind.
I mean, so they want you to go right, you go left, but then you make a U-turn and you're going right again. So,
okay. I'm following.
I knew we were going to go deep on this conversation. That's why I got my swimmies on.
Well, that's why I'm throwing out those island vibes, nothing.
Them island vibes.
Nothing on the skin better than some nice Hawaiian cotton.
Wow, Phil. Excellent work pulling up the background in 2 seconds.
How do you do it?
My God, this show is going to go to the moon once we get this figured out. Once we get this little formula figured out. It's not totally figured out. I know we're on to something here, folks. I can feel it. Okay, Dustin Becker, your earliest memory is?
Throwing up saltwater taffy on the way home from Arizona, where we were coming back from visiting my grandparents. I probably have earlier ones, but that's probably the most prevalent in my mind.
Do you eat saltwater taffy to this day?
No, hate it.
Do you know how many you might have ingested?
Nope, probably quarter of a pound.
Oh, God.
QP.
It was a big bag.
And this was in the back of the car?
No, when we got home, and it was a mixture of that and pizza. We stopped for pizza, and then I was hungry on the way in the van. We were, Ford Astro van. Shout out to Ford. It was a spectacular setup, and we were just firing down those taffies and mixture of the cheese pizza and saltwater taffy. And my mom was running down the hallways with me by the hips. And I was just vomiting all the way down the hallway.
Your siblings have anything to do with instigating the amount you took on?
No, because my brother also had an instance where he puked off saltwater taffy. So I think it might be hereditary. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does anyone here like saltwater taffy?
No.
I feel like that's only something you get when you're at like an amusement park.
Or like Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I
Uh-huh.
remember staring at those things that, they just do the swoop and loop and they're spreading it out. It's mesmerizing.
Speaking of mesmerizing, tell us about your first car.
Oof, my first car. It's funny. I was actually just talking about this with a couple of my friends. My first car was a Chevy Silverado 1500 single cab short bed. And growing up out in the low desert of California, in Riverside, you got to have a truck to start out. So
a lot of trucks.
got that, and it was a V6, so I was going 40 miles an hour, but it sounded like I was going 120, and I was just floored, but really going nowhere. But safe truck for a 16-year-old kid to have, until I tried to read a magazine while driving and crashed into the back of a Mercedes.
Oh,
Not good.
yeah, that was before the cell phone days. You had to be distracted by a magazine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really need to learn while you're driving.
Put down the Vogue and keep your eyes on the road.
Yep.
What magazine was it?
Tips.
If you had to guess.
Well, in my
Penthouse
previous
property.
life, in my previous life, I raced motorcycles, so it was a motorcycle magazine. So I was reading up on just the current events in the motocross industry as I was driving up the street in Riverside and just to the back of a nice Mercedes.
Did the airbags deploy?
The airbags did not deploy, so the truck was up high enough to where my truck just kind of went up on top of the trunk of the Mercedes, and then I just popped it in reverse and kind of backed off the Mercedes.
Then you revved your engine a few times, like, what? I'm here.
Did you try to come up with lies to get out of it?
I think I was so young. I mean, it was like I hadn't had my license more than maybe 3-4 months.
That
Like,
happened to me too.
It was, yeah.
I backed into my girlfriend when she was pulling out of my dad's driveway. I had an Xterra and I couldn't see her, and I had my license like a month, and my dad was like, "Really?
Well, I could clearly see this car. I think that's the difference. I just was looking straight down, so that I just wasn't paying attention. But you live and you learn.
Indeed, you do. You live and you learn. And speaking of living and learning, you're a golf fan. Finish the sentence. Patrick Reed is.
Oh, sandbagger. I mean, maybe a little bit of a cheater. Probably a disgrace to the game. We won't get into the details.
Okay, cats are.
The spawn of the devil.
Dogs are.
A man's best friend.
The best golf apparel brand is.
Ooh, probably the one with 3 stripes.
Is that
Ping is.
A really good, wholesome family brand. Appreciate them.
I was hoping for some fireworks. Callaway is.
A giant within the industry.
TaylorMade is. Golfy.
Golfy. I mean,
Itty.
yeah, they're a golf company.
Californians are.
Very stereotypical.
Texans are.
Well, there are only 2 things that come from Texas, and I don't see any horns on you.
Massachusetts are.
Oh, mass holes.
Dustin Johnson is.
He's a big swinging golfer.
Orange juice with pulp is.
What are we talking? A lot of pulp, medium pulp. Medium pulp's good. Too much pulp, not so good.
Pulp. How do we stand on pulp, Phil?
Like none.
Jenny?
Pulp.
Heavy pulp?
Yeah.
Melissa?
I like the tour drink.
I'm with Jenny. I like pulp. Pulp it up.
I'm medium pulp. If you've got a wad of cash that you're folding up and to put in your pocket, some of the bills are large, hundreds, 50s, and some are small bills, 1s and 5s. The large bills go on the inside or the outside of your wad?
The inside, so you feel like one of the small people, so you pull that out. You don't want to intimidate anybody.
Keep you humble.
Yeah.
There's 2 types of people, inside hundreds and outside hundreds. The Animaniacs show was
revolutionary. Breaking.
Remember that on South Park? There's only 2 types of people. People who like Animaniacs and people who don't like Animaniacs. The best TV show is?
Yellowstone.
I don't know that one. Is that like a documentary?
I believe is it Kevin Costner on Paramount Network? It's all about having a ranch up in Montana, cattle ranch. It's pretty great. The way they shoot
a little
it.
Tipperooski. We'll look into that. Is that on Netflix?
I don't think it's on Netflix. I have the old cable. I haven't quite cut the full cords yet. The kids like the Disney Channel.
You haven't transitioned to streaming Disney yet?
You haven't gotten
trust me, we have streaming. We've flushed enough money down the toilet streaming Disney, all that stuff. So, we're hurting ourselves.
Phil Seagram is
a sandbagger, kind of like Patrick Reed. If you look at his gin, I believe he doesn't post every score because half the time when I play golf with him, he plays like he's on the web.com or the Corn Ferry Tour nowadays.
Corn Ferry? Is that real?
That's real. That's a headhunting company taking over the title sponsorship of web.com.
Corn Ferry. I post every score that I make because...
Let me put it to you. Maybe this is a better analogy. Every time I play with Phil, he plays like Charlie Hoffman Thursday, Friday of the Masters.
Forgot about Charlie Hoffman.
Saturday,
So-
Sunday kind of falls off a little bit, but starts out every time 67, 65.
Yep. But what I will say is Phil also is notorious for having multiple putters in the bag. So
Oh, is he
The
in violation of
the
14?
two putter in the bag.
15 club bag.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Yeah, all those scores are invalid.
Yep.
Are you going to be buried or cremated?
Cremated.
And what will be on your placard? What will be on your tombstone? Well, you got a little
Wow.
plaque there. What would you like to have on your plaque by your urn on the mantle?
Hopefully,
Chunk life.
yeah.
That was Melissa's joke. Way to go, Love Angel. You have anything better than chunk life?
I don't, hit it hard, hit it straight, I guess, I don't know.
What's the first time you remember an adult rolling their eyes at you?
Does my sister count? Because she used to watch us when she was like 16, 17, probably 18. And she probably rolled her eyes at me a lot because I was, a little troublemaker.
Oh, somebody's in the background going crazy.
That's Sailor out there. She's probably getting her diaper changed. She's not a big fan of that. She likes to sit in her own kind of stool.
Do we go cloth or throwaway diapers?
No, we go shout out to Jessica Alba. We're on the Honest system where they just fire those boxes in every month, and we stay stocked up. So shout out to Jessica Alba if you're out there listening.
She's a fan of the show, pretty sure. If you had to bet $100 of your own hard-earned money on the inside of your wad, $100, have aliens visited Earth?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I would say like there's definitely a chance. Although, I mean, I do agree with the speculation that if the government has this great of satellite cameras and they can see galaxies and stars far away, why are all the photos and videos of UFOs just so horrible when it comes to quality?
Because, man, they know you're trying to take pictures of them, man, and they have, active cloaking systems that, redirect the pixels, and it's all very scientific.
If this is how people react in a quarantine, how do you think they will react? Like, we have seen aliens. People are like, oh my God.
It's gonna come sooner. It's gonna come sooner or later. I mean, Elon's gonna get us to Mars. We're gonna have a second civilization there. So it's definitely gonna happen.
Okay, so you're going with yes. I'm going with yes. Aliens have been here, and they helped model. They helped our quick advancement from a previous ancestor to our more advanced self.
Plus, I'm pretty sure if you
Now it explains our quick evolution of the mind.
I'm pretty sure if you go to Florida and New Mexico, you can get like a alien dipped in a jar of formaldehyde just to your shelf. So
is it deep fried?
They definitely.
Yeah, do they taste good?
Definitely have those. Yeah, probably a little bit like chicken, gamey like an alligator.
From all the space.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dustin, ghosts are
not real.
Yeah, I used to be heavy on the ghost thing. I'm out on the ghost thing. Unless the ghost is some sort of Matthew McConaughey, another dimension sort of affecting gravity in our current dimension ghost, but in terms of some sort of previous life sticking around, rattling chains, not in on that program.
Yeah, easy way for me to flip is if Matthew McConaughey was that ghost. I'd be a firm believer. All right.
Messing with your bookshelves.
That was one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. The only reason I watched it was because of Lil Duval on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's like, man, you seen that movie? He's like, that's pretty much what life is. I was like, oh.
I mean, you want to trip out. You go watch that movie and then you drive away from the theater in a Prius. Oh, man, it was mind-blowing. Just a little humming, a lot like the spaceship.
All right. We're wrapping up here. All right. Quarantine tonight so far is
just a wholesome good time,
that's what we're going for. And last but not least, Dustin Becker is
a hopefully highly creative person, family man, and weekend hack golfer that keeps kind of like a subpar handicap.
beautiful thing. Dustin Becker, thanks for going through our rapid dating show. I feel like the listeners really know who you are deep down to the marrow now. And that brings us into our next segment, a little something I like to call Who the Freak Is That? Who the Freak Is That? Come on, everybody now. Who the freak is that, Melissa? Who the freak is that? Come on now. I'm not going to stop until everyone sings. Who the freak is that? 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 Hey, Phil, you came up with Who the Freak Is That? What are we going to be doing tonight, bro? And how can our callers get in on this thing if they'd like to call in and play via the grown phone under my wife's head, 925-726-3224?
Well, what we're going to do here, I know you launched a little bit of a teaser, so I could just show this as an example, but we're going to be looking at Photoshopped this evening PGA Tour pros. Mostly pulled from the top 100 rankings, but there's some outside ones there, but they're pretty famous. So you'll get an image like this. I've labeled it as a par 4 because it is compiled of 4 professional golfers. Each slide will have your name on it, and we'll play a quick 9 holes, and then you'll get a reveal like this after you've guessed, and you can kind of see the features that have come together to make this golfer. So this guy's got the hair of Mickelson, the body of Reed, the eyes of Stenson, which you don't usually see, and the Bubba nose, mouth, and cheek mole there, signature.
Wow, Phil, just out of curiosity, I know you went to the DAP School of Design. How long does it take to put together something like this? Is this like child's play? You can do this in 5 minutes?
Yeah, this is pretty quick. Skin tone modification is not that hard, and then you kind of just scale it and erase out and airbrush some stuff. So do you guys think you understand what's going on here?
I think so. And if the callers want to call in and play along with us here, the phone number is 925-SANDBAG, also 925-726-3224. All right, Phil, take it away.
Yeah, just to make sure you guys are extra clear here. So if this were to either of you, you would say, who do you think this might be?
Dustin, what do you think there? I'm having a hard time.
Tiger Woods, Tommy Fleetwood?
Oh, that is correct. Okay. I think you guys are going to do great. So first up, hole 1, par 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dustin, who do we got?
Oh, is it Hideki and Louis Oosthuizen?
Ooh, all right. So you got one of those correct. Clay, do you think you can get the one that Dustin got incorrect, which would be the beard area?
The beard area belongs to. I don't think it's fat enough to be Shane. I don't think it's fat enough to be Shane Lowry, unless you tapered in the neck a little bit.
I didn't do really much fudging.
Okay.
But I had to make faces align.
I'll go Shane Lowry.
That is correct, yeah. Clayton. So we'll give him. Clay gets basically a stroke off his next hole here. So this one's to Clayton. Who do we got?
Wow. Well, Phil, I think we're looking at a very beautiful individual. First of all, we're looking at someone with quite a beautiful head of hair that belongs to. I'm going to say that is a combination of Ricky Fowler and Jason Day.
Oh, you got one wrong there. Dustin to steal.
Mm-hmm. Pat Perez and Jason Day.
That is correct.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I love it. That is so awesome.
This is one where it was like 1 a.m. Jenny's in bed. And as soon as I put Jason Day's features on Pat Perez, I laughed out loud to myself.
That's pretty bad.
He just looks like some dude you run into there. And the best part is it looks like a real person.
Yeah, some of these don't look like real people. Some of them do. So
I give that a very strong real person. Whoa.
Ew. This is a part
Jeez.
three, Dustin.
Oh,
All right, Dustin. So this is made up of 3 people. That's what part 3 means.
man. Is okay. It's got to be. I want to say, is it Furyk?
Yes.
Rory?
Yes.
God, whose eyes are those? I am struggling with it.
Come on now.
Justin Rose?
That third one is incorrect. Clayton, can you guess those eyeballs?
Adam Scott.
Oh no. Oh, that was good.
Clay stealing another. All right, Clay, here's your par 3.
Oh my God. That guy looks
wow.
like he just railed down about 8 grams of cocaine and he's ready to go.
It looks like one of the Who game cards or something.
Okay, that I'm gonna take a close. This is 3 folks.
This is 3 folks. 3 PGA Tour professionals.
Wow.
And again, if anybody wants to call in, they can and play along.
Phone number's open here. I might need I need to phone a friend here. 925 Sandbag is the number for this phone. I'm gonna stall until somebody calls in. I'm gonna say that one of those people is God. Justin Rose? All right. Another one of those people is Jordan Spieth.
Correct.
And Nick Watney?
Incorrect. All right, Dustin, you got Spieth and Spieth already. Get your 2 guesses in there.
Ooh. So one Spieth, I gotta say, are the eyes? Is it Fowler?
Fowler, correct. You got a Fowler in there. Got a Jordan Fowler and
correct.
Jordan Fowler.
There's a Jordan and a Ricky Fowler.
No, Jordan Spieth.
My gosh, who is it? Kisner's eyes?
That is incorrect. It's actually the iconic.
Oh my
gosh!
gosh!
Phil Mickelson.
Okay, so that's our first reusage. I
threw me with the eyebrows
on the rules that we can reuse players.
Oh yeah, too bad. Okay, so Dustin got a steal point there. And,
what's the score?
Oh wow.
We got 5-4. 5 Dustin, 4 Clay. All right, Dustin. 3 people here. What do we got?
Well, obviously Kuchar.
Correct.
Are you reusing Reed's mouth?
I am not, but I am able to reuse. Just keep that in mind.
I mean, is it?
Phil, you've done beautiful.
Good Lord, this is tough.
He just looks like a manager at
Applebee's. Is it? It's not Jason Day's eyes, is it? Jason Day?
That's incorrect. I'm gonna give you 1 full incorrect.
Wait,
there.
can
You
I
get
guess
one more
one,
guess.
Phil?
Yeah.
Is it one of them Dustin Johnson?
No.
Oh.
Old Dusty.
Oh man,
Dustin,
this is
I'm
tough.
one more guess because you've kind of had 2 half.
Doesn't look like his
Yeah,
nostril.
two halves. All right, that's fair. And then shoot. Brooks Koepka's teeth?
No. All right, Clay, you get 2 guesses. Kuchar and who else?
Justin Rose?
Yes.
Oh man.
Look, that looked like his mouth.
That's his mouth and nose. And then
Got that kind of that little grin, that like little almost too perfect grin where you're like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Those
And
are
the
too
last
nice
one-
for English teeth.
How about, is the last one Ian Poulter?
That is correct.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Quarantine Tonight's filmed in front of a live studio audience. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Clay. Where are we at? We are on hole 3.
Oh wow.
Is that
Oh,
Gollum from
wow.
Lord of the Rings?
Oh,
Or that's
that guy
actually
looks
Daniel
like he's been on a
Radcliffe.
drug bender
That's-
for about 3 weeks.
That's Radcliffe from Swiss Army Man. That's easy. I know that one.
All right, so this is 3 guys.
That would be your boy Justin Thomas.
Correct.
Your other boy God, these look like real people. You knocked it out of the park
Yeah.
with this.
You did.
Francesco Molinari.
That's his signature look there in the face place.
So I got 2 right.
Yeah, you've got JT's chin and mouth and Molinari's eyes and nose. Whose body and forehead, upper head region?
Adam Scott.
Yeah, he's got that signature
wow.
Adam Scott Adam's apple. It's very pointy. So Clay got all 3 there, a clean sweep.
Dude, you should open up a fake ID place and just be making fake
Oh
IDs for
my
Oh
God.
my God.
Hello, my name is Brent Snedeker. Oh, gave you that one for free.
Yeah, I had Sned.
That's too obvious. That's like Mad TV or
Yes.
Mad Magazine.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Mad
Oh my
Magazine
gosh.
guy.
Mixed with Hitler stash.
Look at those ears.
Hello, my name is Brent Snedeker.
Oh man, we have Brant Snedeker. We have
Just 2 guys. Just 2 guys.
Just 2, huh?
We're talking eyes,
I know.
nose, and mustache.
Oh man, is it Lee Westwood?
It's correct.
Very good.
Wow.
That was a good get. That is so funny. That
You
is
guys, are you guys down to keep playing? We haven't finished 9 holes yet, but I know we got other things.
Keep
on
going.
schedule.
Keep going.
Do we need more juice? Up the juice. Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh, I know.
All right, Clay. Only 2 people compiled here.
That would be Sergio.
Eh.
Oh. And Dustin.
No.
Oh wow, double missers.
All right, Dustin Becker. Chance for 2 strokes here.
oh, Xander Schauffele
Correct.
and I recognize the top half, but
Yeah.
I'm like, is it what's his? Is
It's
it
that
like-
guy with the name.
Yeah, is it Ches Reavy?
That is also
Oh
correct.
my
Great.
gosh!
What a get.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
Tailor-made staffer.
Okay, Dustin, par 3 here.
Ooh. Obviously, Louis used Tazen chin and mouth.
Yes, and teeth.
And
Then-
gosh, initially I thought Bill Haas, but that's not it. Is it? Bill Haas is one.
Nope.
Oh, jeez.
Is it Furyk head?
Well, Dustin's got one more guess here.
Oh, sorry. Good save there. Good save.
The eyes are throwing me when you mix the mouth.
I know who the eyes are.
Such sweet eyes.
Is it? I mean, they're looking 2 different directions, so it's not Sony Michel from the Patriots, but
Can we get a shot clock over here? Come on.
yeah, I know. I'll throw out. Is it Mark Leishman?
No, Clay. 2. You got 2 here.
The eyeballs, the window into the soul, belong to the golden child, Jordan Spieth himself.
That is correct.
Oh, that is right.
That away, love angel. And then the head, I was going to say Furyk, but it looks a little too unwrinkled. So I think that Haas guess might have been good.
Well, I gave him the on the Haas.
Oh, crap. I wasn't listening. Okay. Do I get a.
Oh,
You do not.
Is that surprising to
It
you?
is a Furyk.
It was the Furyk head.
Oh, man. Okay. He's got a nice looking head. He must do put it. Well, golfers are always under the hat, so the
It's so
forehead
creepy looking.
might not
Yeah,
be as
He had
cancerous
a
as
bit
the
of
rest of the
speeth.
face.
He had a bit of speeth up in the wrinkle region.
Oh, throwing us for a loop here.
All right, this one's my favorite.
Oh, wow.
He looks like
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
what are those things called where they're half horse, half man?
Centaur.
Centaur boy.
Centaur.
All right, Clay, three gentlemen here.
Rory, DJ, and Rory, DJ,
Oh, I think I know it.
and Xander.
Incorrect. Whose nose is that, Dustin
I
Becker?
think is it Fowler's?
It is Ricky Fowler's
Like-
schnoz.
Wow.
Like, wow.
You know that guy's schnoz. You
do.
dirty dog.
You know, the BDR. He's
You must have
big
been
time.
watching closely on that little golf match they had the other day. That thing was something else.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Something else means boring. Okay,
that was
we've got
smooth one.
Dustin Johnson here for part 2.
So we got Brooks Koepka, Keegan Bradley.
That is correct. They kind of look like a Supermanish kind of guy when they.
Yeah, kind of handsome there.
Not
Yeah.
at all.
Not at all. All right. Well, Melissa, if you don't think that's handsome, maybe this is your type.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
man, how many channels you get
Ooh.
on those antennae?
I know this one.
How many drinks? You gotta drink to think that's handsome.
All right, Clay, 2 people. Who it?
Oh my God.
Who is?
I know it. I
Who
know
is?
it. Buzz me in.
Who
Who
did?
did?
Who dis?
Oh, I know it. Buzz me in. I know it.
Yeah, take it. I don't know.
You don't know?
Nope.
Cantlay and
guess.
Sergio.
Better get this right.
It is Cantlay and Sergio. 2 to Dusty.
Wow. Is he running away with it? Do I need a daily double?
No, I think you got 2 par 4s.
Jenny, scorekeeper here. Dustin's got 16. Clay's got 12. Okay, we're close.
Oh wow.
All right, Dusty, 3 guys here.
Kevin Bacon or
Oh wow.
the guy from Entourage.
Jeez.
I think this is
Johnny
one of the
Bravo?
hard ones.
Yeah.
That looks like a horrible plastic surgery nose job gone
Isn't
wrong.
that Damon's brother?
It's I know the eyes,
you
but
can be the Instagram
I can't remember the name.
checker.
Oh man, I cannot remember the
I'd
name.
love to be able to tell you who these guys play for, but I don't want to make it uneven or give it away. But
Look at
Well,
that hair. That's
I recognize
beautiful
the
hair.
eyes.
the eyes and nose are one and the same.
Yeah, but I don't know his name. Is it?
Yes,
He plays for Wilson Brand.
he does.
Kevin Dillon.
Oh, what's his name? Brendan Steele.
Nope.
Oh, geez, what's the other guy? They only have 2 guys.
All right,
God, I'm drawing a blank.
make it
Clay.
snappy, Dustin.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. on
Nobody
this one.
else?
Clay,
Clay?
go for it.
Clay.
Am I allowed to Google?
No, Clay.
I'm just
Clay.
looking and seeing what the comments are saying. The comment
I
section's
know.
on fire right now.
I know. I just got his name.
Oh God, I know him too. He played good at the Valero. He hit it in that
Mhm.
bunker on the par 3 with the bunker in the middle of the green. And his name is, he's always up there. He's like a perennial, like top 100 guy, but never wins anything.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
man.
But
Kevin Streelman.
Oh,
Kevin Streelman would be the first guess that I would have.
yeah. All right, who's hair and who's nice jawline?
I don't know. That's what I was struggling with.
The hair belongs to Robert Rock.
No, never heard of him.
He apparently has the best hair in the game.
This is probably the hardest one, Phil.
I think-
Chin. The Chin
and mouth. And
Chimmery Chimcharu belongs to
we've seen him before.
Brooks.
Incorrect.
It's
That's
Ricky
the hair
Fowler.
of Kevin
Damn it.
Na.
Damn it.
Oh wow,
Oh,
Kevin Na.
wow.
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 All right, so Clay.
Racial one there, Phil.
Well, I just went for the hair. Okay.
That's beautiful hair. I didn't recognize Kevin Na's beautiful hair. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give him more props for that. Why does he wear a hat if he's got that?
Don't know.
underneath
He's
the
got
hood?
good-looking hair. And speaking of good-looking hair, over here on hole 7,
Whoa!
Wow.
That looks like Dwight's brother on The Office.
Mose
Wow.
from Street Farms.
Beet Farm.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, that would be beef on the neck.
No.
Wow.
Wow.
Different.
It's not beef on the
A
neck.
different beard.
Oh, I thought the same thing.
Okay, I guess it's Shane Lowry again.
Eh.
Oh gosh, and
Guess
I
not.
got one more guess to get on the board, and
Maybe it's cheater, pumpkin.
Maybe don't guess the beard and guess the more obvious features. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm the Spanish guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, mana. He's mean to his caddy. He's a doucher. I can't remember his name. Do you know his name?
All right, Dustin.
So we got John
You got
Rahm.
all three. You got John Rahm. You got 2 more here.
We got is it Rory's hair?
No, that's John Rahm's hair.
That
One
is
more.
not John Rahm's hair.
Yep, one more guess. You'll see.
Oh, and
Whose crooked nose and mouth is that? Whose beard is that?
I don't know. That's what threw me off. I was thinking Shane and Lowry, just like Clay.
Hmm.
Beard.
5, 4, 3,
3,
2.
2.
I
One.
mean,
Gardner.
Dell.
We got JB Holmes and
Oh my
30
gosh.
L's.
Oh my
Which one is
gosh.
I wasn't gonna guess any of those guys.
Which one's the jerk to his head?
You should have definitely used JB's hair. That's way better.
Yeah, I think that might have been in
JB Holmes's beard, dude. We're never gonna get that, especially when you crop out the stash.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's got to be hard.
That was hard. That was the best one yet.
All right, I think we only got a couple more here. Dustin next.
Ooh.
Only 2 people here.
This is obviously oh my gosh. How am I drawing a blank on his name? Englishman, big forearms, won the Valspar back-to-back years.
Yeah, he does have big arms, doesn't he?
Like Popeye.
What's
Yeah.
his name? Oh, Nike guy.
Yep.
I pretty much described everything about him.
Yep.
Don't worry, I don't
Jeez,
remember his name either.
What is his name?
Do you know the top half? Do you know the eyes and forehead?
The eyes and forehead. Oh yeah, that's German dude. What's
Yep.
his name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I have him. I just got to think of their
I think
name.
he won the PGA.
Yeah. Oh, why am I drawing a blank on this? I know who both these guys are.
All right, we're gonna count you down here. 5,
5,
4,
4,
3.
I
Three.
cannot. I'm
2.
blanking.
All right, Clay. Here's your comeback.
Martin Keimer
Yes.
That's what it was.
and
Who's the Nike bloke with the big arms?
God dang it.
Oh,
British guy, not Luke Donald.
No.
Not Nick
What is it?
Watney.
what is it? I got his first name, but I forget his last name.
Nick Watney.
No.
Incorrect. That is Paul
Casey.
Casey.
Oh, Casey.
Dustin, you were so close,
I
man.
had them both. I just could not remember their names.
You were describing all their features.
Martin Keimer won the U.S. Open at Pinehurst.
Yeah, that's great.
He was number 1 there for 2 shakes, and then he got a little chasey. I think he got a little bit like, I got to do new things to stay on top of the world. So he tried to reinvent the wheel, and then he got caught in that whole rat race. And now he's
Then he got crushed.
Yep.
fallen into a bit of obscurity as far as PGA Tour players go, which is a very high bar to bear, as we've seen with Spieth, for instance. It's once you set that precedent, everybody's like, what's wrong with him when he doesn't win 10 tournaments in a year? It's like, well, it's hard.
Would you believe it's hard? All right, Clay, this will finish up hole 8 here. You're only down 3 points.
My God, I thought I was getting
Just
smoked.
closed
Okay.
it.
I hammer, by the way. Okay, that is.
I think this one might be the harder one because they're not your
Well, I got one.
they're not your super famous guys.
Billy Horschel.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And Billy Horschel is like the hair.
It's mainly Billy Horschel. It's nose mouth that we're looking at.
The mouth, man, oh man, you would throw in kind of a funny little goober smile mouth there.
I know who he is. I know who he is, but I just don't remember his
You
name.
want to describe him for Clay?
Yeah, give me some descriptions. I'm down, man. Come on, it's a gentleman's game here.
I think he's English.
He is.
I think he, as an amateur, he played really well in the U.S. or the Open Championship.
I don't know.
I know his first name. I just don't remember his last name.
Give me his first name.
Paul, I think.
No.
All right. Well,
5, 4.
That is the Lord and Savior, Prince of Wales, Cyril Chuffington.
Incorrect.
I got it.
What do you got, Dustin? It's your chance.
Horschel and Tyrrell Hatton.
Tyrrell Hatton.
Tyrrell
There
Hatton.
we go.
Wow, Tyrrell, look at that little sly grin on Tyrrell.
All right, and because we've reached the 9th hole, it is now time for a
Two shotgun beers.
It's a par 4, and whoever thinks they got all 4 first will need to raise their hand, and then we'll see if you get them.
Oh, I like it.
It's like a speed, like who can.
Is there a penalty if you raise your hand first?
Well, if you raise your hand, you got to go for it, and if you get them wrong, then
I'm just gonna go ahead and pre-raise my hand.
sure. We're gonna put you on the clock though. All right. And,
Okay, okay.
Here we go.
Oh God, how
Wow.
beautiful.
I'd raise your hand, Clay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have Dustin Johnson's luscious jowls.
Yes.
We have Bubba Watson's frat swoop
Yes. And mole.
and moly, moly. And then you've got some very kind but a little bit of sad eyes there.
Yeah. Who dat?
Those are
I think I got the next two.
kind, sad
4
eyes
people?
that belong to a little guy known as Jason Day.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
You'll get one more. You get still one more point.
okay. Any ideas, sweetheart? I'm all ears.
Maybe Tiger Woods.
This is nose and mouth, and no, I did not make Tiger Woods white.
You did not make Tiger
No,
Woods.
it might be his eyes. Not
I
the-
decided to not do any racially.
That's very progressive of you on
Probably for the best. Yeah. That's
Racial bending here. So we got nose and mouth or retry on the eyes to tie.
Brooks Koepka nose teeth.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so it's tied up. Dustin, can you win out by telling us those eyeballs?
can I get a Justin Thomas?
That is correct. Just narrowly took home the victory.
Bubba Watson does look like a rat daddy.
Why are my drops not going here? Did I lose my cable?
And that has been.
Who the freak is that?
That's weird.
Who the freak is that? The kind you don't remember, mama.
Who the freak is that? Oh, that's probably why. Here we go. Who the freak is that?
Say is a purple, sete, you know, it's like a black, like a gray.
Oh, that's Michelangelo.
Otto is a very nice lemon yellow, and Nove is pink.
Pinky. Well, congratulations to Dustin for winning a little segment we like to call
Oh, who the freak is that? Oh, who the freak is that? Oh,
Coming
who
up
the
next
freak
on
is that?
Quarantine Tonight.
Oh, who the freak is that?
Speaking of freaky deaky stuff, I had a super freaky deaky dream the other night, bringing in our next segment called
Stranger Dreams.
Stranger Dreams. All right, I wrote down this dream the other night. As soon as I got up in the morning, I haven't looked at it in probably a week, and I'm going to try my best to read it as I remember it. All right. I had a dream. I was out and about in New York City. I was invited to a party in a big blue house with a garage. It was a game show in the basement. I got hammered and started holding court. I called the audience a bunch of pussies, then gave them a lecture on racial equality. Asian Americans versus saying the slur of DINK, etc. Then there was a riot. Officers were injured. I woke up to the woman of the house, probably 3 feet tall, asking me to help lift her up to grab something the cops wanted off a not very high ledge. I proceeded to a room with a bunch of police officers trying to getting to the bottom of what happened, who I was, and why Melissa and I were there.
Oh, I was there too.
A very tall, handsome man from the party was led out in handcuffs. I commented to one of the cops I could tell was a cool guy. What is that dude, like 9 feet tall? He laughed. Then I explained myself to the cops, and they seemed satisfied. Then the dream transitioned into an episode of Flip or Flop about the strange blue house in New York City. The homeowner who never worked a day in his life despite owning a 5,000 square foot house in New York City right next to his parents and Los Dos Toucans,
Los Dos Toucans.
a pub. I remember seeing the stained glass window on Los Dos Toucans. This pub said, he said he and his 3 foot tall wife needed to tie down the garage straps like it was a huge priority. They were afraid that the garage was going to fly away. So he said, me and my wife got to go tie down the garage straps.
Yeah.
There was a crumbling concrete divider and trash everywhere as the camera panned to a backside view of the house, which now looked even more out of place in the busy urban center. I remember feeling very confident and funny in the basement cellar game show. There was also a room behind the stage I got a brief glimpse of that had a bunch of neatly assorted balls, like a middle school gym teacher meets Q from 007. We never got to use the balls before the riot, which I was also unable to participate in because I had either been drugged by the 3 foot tall woman or passed out drunk. At one point, we were driving wildly down an interstate leading into New York City with steep, rocky walls off the left side of the highway, featuring a prefabbed house with the back end cut off, so I could see an old man and 1 or 2 people / kids sitting at the kitchen table, drinking coffee, seemingly unfazed as dust and debris fell from the rafters during the house due to the house moving wildly at 70 miles an hour, fairly wobbly as well, on the back of some sort of tow truck. I imagine this was the origin story of the parents' house being moved into the city well before the blue Midwestern mansion made its way there. I imagine the kid sitting under the table was the blue house guy's dad, based on the old-timey feel of the dude at the table. I couldn't see the cars in either lanes to date the scene. I remember feeling a bit of hostility from the blue house man, but nothing but friendliness from the 3 foot tall woman. Now I remember I also had to lift her up and over some debris she was stuck behind, presumably left over from the riot. Why was there a riot? Why did we never play the game show? Used the neatly organized basketballs, tennis balls, and small yellow foam balls. Why were they sitting in the house while it was being towed? No idea.
Sounds like you're hanging out with a bunch of crackheads.
The end.
The end.
It's an extremely vivid dream.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
Wow.
It was so bizarre. We got to get the garage strapped down, stat, or else it's going to blow away. Did anybody else have any good weird dreams this week?
I mean,
No, not
What?
like that.
last night I had a pretty wild dream, but
Tell us about it.
we were on a little vacation.
Stranger dreams.
Couple of years ago, me and the wife took a vacation up to San Francisco, right? So it was a dream of us taking that trip up to San Francisco, but the only meals that we could find were either donuts or ice cream.
Oh.
So at first the dream started and I was just in elation when we went to breakfast and we went to the donut shop, but then I ate 3 to 4 donuts in one sitting and started not feeling so great, right?
Saltwater taffy all over again.
Exactly. It was a little bit of that saltwater taffy. So
You're
I'm like,
drunk.
okay, so it's the dream of us, being on the trolley, riding the subway, just traveling through San Francisco, seeing the sights, having a great time. Lunch comes around and all we can find is Ghirardelli chocolate. And so we go have lunch at Ghirardelli chocolate, right? And so we're wrapping up, we go back out at the sites, we're at Fisherman's Wharf, we're walking through the streets and we say, okay, we're going to go to dinner. And the only thing we can find is ice cream. And so it's 3 straight meals of sugar. And I remember I ate so much at every meal that I felt sick. And so I'm like, it's going to go away. It's going to go away. So the next morning we wake up and we're like, let's go see the sights. And instantly we go back to the donut shop. And it was 3 days of a dream of us being stuck in San Francisco. And all I could eat was sweets, donuts, chocolate, ice cream. And I literally woke up with like a kind of queasy feeling in my stomach because like my body was feeling like I was just eating sugar for 3 meals a day in San Francisco.
What did you eat that night?
Well, I drank a couple cocktails, Phil. I had some carne asada, black beans, corn,
T-Bell.
all the accoutrements. This was homemade. We kept it classy. I mean, not that T-Bell's not classy, obviously, but yeah, it was bizarre. I woke up and I was just kind of like feeling like that was the weirdest thing because I have a couple recurring dreams that I have routinely, but that one was just bizarre. And I woke up kind of feeling it, in my stomach and
Sounds
out
amazing.
of this world.
Thank you for sharing your stranger dream. Melissa, did you have any strange dreams?
No, sadly.
Phil?
I have one. It's probably 200 times quicker than yours, Clay. I had this dream. That's not a dig. It's that I dream in short form. So I had this dream that I was playing tennis in my parents' driveway back in Ohio. I was playing tennis against one of my current present day coworkers, who's the engineering director at my company. And all I can remember of this dream, I feel like it was literally like 30 seconds of real time happening. He spiked the ball into my nuts. I keeled over, and that was the end of the dream.
Great dream. That's a great dream.
And Jenny.
Hello.
Oh, yay,
Wow.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Stranger dreams.
I need my
Jenny
own
drop.
drop. Yeah. It's not a super exciting dream, but I would say 90. I'm gonna talk about the recent one.
Okay.
90% of the time, my dreams are reoccurring dreams about me either having to go to the bathroom and I can't find a bathroom, or I found so many bathrooms and they're just like the worst. Like
I don't have dreams about that. That actually happens.
the most disgusting like bathroom situation you've ever seen. But this I remember because it wasn't a bathroom dream. I was a famous actress, obviously.
Mhm.
My
Congratulations.
co-star, what?
Congratulations.
Thank you. My co-star was Orlando Bloom. We were BFFs.
Nice.
But there was another part to be had, and I can't remember his actual name, but Zach Morris, the guy who plays Zach Morris.
Oh yeah.
Dave by the Bell guy.
Yeah.
Mark.
Honk.
A real honk.
He
Yeah.
was auditioning to also be my co-star, falls in love with me. It was a whole thing. I'm like, I got Orlando Bloom on this side. I got Zach Morris on this side. What am I?
Juggling
Nowhere
Hollywood.
to be found.
Yeah.
It's like a
Bill's
devil's
getting
three-way.
hit nuts by a tennis ball.
Yeah. Bill's nowhere to be found. Doesn't exist in this world.
I just don't exist.
He's never in my dreams.
She's like, I'm not cheating on you. You don't exist.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
My
The,
dream.
how it ends is I'm like whining to Orlando, like, oh my gosh, this guy's in love with me. We're like sitting on a couch, and then out walks my mom from the bathroom of wherever we were in just her bra and underwear, and was like, what's going on? And then it stops. And I was like, Mom! Like classic
Put on some
sitcom,
clothes,
like,
Mom.
don't
I'm
ruin
gonna
So-
start writing my dreams down.
dreamy.
Yeah.
I have reoccurring dreams too, but I don't remember them.
So Jenny, if you had to pick, if you were gonna marry Orlando or Zach Morris when you were awake, who would it be?
Probably Orlando. I never put him on any of my normal lists.
Is he Australian? I think.
Isn't he English?
Okay. Well,
Is-
fine.
Look,
Is he a guy that you
I
would
see
like
it.
generally think about as like one of your top few like super crushes, or was it like a random appearance? Like, oh, there's Orlando Bloom in my
Both
dream.
of them are very random. I don't think
Okay.
either of them are like on my top.
They're not on her roster.
Yeah.
She's
So
got.
what-
She's got a
Jenny,
long
is
roster.
Bradley Cooper on your roster?
I think he's attractive, but he's not on my.
Bradley
not on
Cooper's
my,
on my
like, team. I'm a whole
roster.
bench.
He's not on her top 20.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper is number one.
Oh.
Mm.
Ooh. So, like a
So-
Stars Born Bradley Cooper or like limitless Bradley
Any
Cooper?
Bradley Cooper.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
Any.
He
Any
is-
Hit and run Bradley Cooper.
Oh no, no, I don't want that one.
What do you guys think dreams are?
I think they're just
Hmm.
pieces of our everyday life and subconscious.
Fragments of conscious. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fragments of our subconscious. Just-
It depends how much
Bubbling
liquor
up.
you have.
How much?
Eric
Too
Hufford.
much
you
liquor,
know,
you might dream about an all-day sugar binge.
I think dreams are future memories. It's like all the potential outcomes.
I
And
hope
for
not.
whatever reason, your brain, your consciousness like floats around in this sea of potential future memories. And it's like you're living that at that moment. And then your consciousness just happens to be dipping into this. It's kind of like Interstellar.
Wait, can I
Wow.
tell you something?
Yeah.
Just blow your mind. I think this is a true fact that somebody just told me one time. When you have deja vu, which some people get often, it is literally sort of what you're describing, where normally what you're perceiving with your eyeballs and all your sensory organs is going like straight to your brain to say, this is happening now. This is happening now. Sometimes what's being perceived accidentally goes to memory, like the memory part of your brain for like a little bit, takes a little detour. And that's when you get the feeling like, have I seen this before? Have I been here?
Mhm.
And it's
That
just
makes
like a
sense.
split second
Yeah.
detour to memory. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. This
Whoops.
is happening right now.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't know how true, but I believe it fully.
I think it's a clue as to the glitch in the matrix, personally.
Yes.
Red pill or green pill?
Purple.
Ooh.
Okay, let's move this thing along, ladies and germs. That was fun. I think we'll do like Stranger Dreams. Like whoever has like the best dream every week should like pitch it to the group, and then like maybe have one submission of like
Yeah,
the
'cause
best
yours
dream.
was
Mine was
fine
pretty
pages.
bad. I'm like, it was like, you know, it was pretty detailed, but it wasn't
This
interesting.
was a short story. It wasn't a dream.
The one that you should have seen the wall behind the stage. There was like Nerf balls up there, like really neat. It was like backlit on the wall, like PVC pipes holding the
Crackheads.
basketballs in place.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so the next segment of the evening is a little something that I like to call
Phil and Jenny's recommended movie of the week.
Oh,
Movies.
what?
It's called Phil and Jenny's recommended movie of the week. Subtitle: I like to watch movies.
Yes, everybody's
Oh,
watching.
He'll play it again for you.
Oh, in case you didn't hear it.
Phil and Jenny's recommended movie of the week. I like to watch movies.
I like to watch movies. We do like to watch movies. All right, so this week, what do we got? It was called The Lovebirds. Is this the drop image?
Aww.
What do we got here? We got Kumail Nanjiani and
Issa Rae.
who I've not seen before, but she's in Mistakes of a Awkward Black Girl on some network. Kumail, you might recognize from Silicon Valley.
Is that like ripped Kumail?
Netflix?
Or
Was
What?
he in Harold and Kumar also?
No, that's no.
Oh,
he was in Big Sick.
I get canceled.
Sick. Big Sick is his like true life story of meeting his wife.
And he was in Burning Love.
He's in Burning Love. He's about to be in some Marvel thing, which is why he's ripped now. And he's sometimes on Portlandia. He's just like, his humor's awesome. It's very dry delivery, hilarious stuff. So,
Very funny, yeah. Very ripped. I mean,
Jenny
he
found
is.
out about this.
Phil, do you guys have a picture of him jacked?
We don't.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, come on.
I dropped the ball there. Jenny found this movie because
I
it's
think on-
new.
I got like an ad for it on Instagram or something.
New to
Those ads,
Netflix.
Targeted ads.
Target.
And
It worked.
Yeah.
what's the
I
main
fell
prem-
for it.
the main premise is, this couple
Mhm.
is they've been dating, they've
4
been
years?
together a long time. I think they're just dating.
Oh, yeah.
And they decide, they've kind of hit a rough patch. And then as soon as they decide they've hit a rough patch, boom, all the stuff they've been arguing about comes like forward because they get thrown into this life of crime and drama. And there's a whole bunch
Action
of
movie.
like interrogation scenes and crazy costumes. Oh, Dustin.
There you go. Yeah, look at that.
Hello.
Look
Yeah,
at
he's ripped.
I did not give you permission to use my body likeness.
The veins in his arm are kind of freakishly
look
scary.
at that.
Yeah,
He
he's
used-
ripped.
Yow.
I sent Zane a video of me just doing that the other day because my like forearm vascular was insane looking.
Uh-huh.
Jenny, I heard that.
What's that?
Nothing.
Anyway,
Girl talk.
it's quite a good movie. They get into a lot of shenanigans, which
Yeah.
result in all this like these different
Movies,
awkward
yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
It's good. I highly recommend it.
It's got like every emotion. Like we were laughing. It was kind of sad when they were talking about breaking
Yeah,
up.
There's some real deal stuff.
Suspenseful when it gets like really action movie. It's
Those are the best when it's all tied in.
everything.
It's like Pineapple Express,
Bananas.
where it's like these are not action heroes, but they're in an action movie,
Yeah.
and it's like funny because they shouldn't be in an action movie.
Are you guys criers? Do you cry during movies?
If something happens to a dog, I'll cry.
Oh,
I'd say it's
But
probably been
Not really.
one time maybe.
Do you remember what movie you cried to?
I think
Armageddon. I mean, no.
Armageddon. You cried when he was on that asteroid and sent Ben Affleck back up into the ship?
I mean, here's the thing. He can't save everybody, but he does.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah,
Okay, so
Okay.
that's 2 big thumbs up there from the Seagrams. Go check this movie out.
4 thumbs up.
Jenny, you're
4 thumbs up.
disappearing.
I'm a ghost.
That's a 4 thumbs up from this house.
Ghosts are real.
What's it called again?
The Lovebirds.
The Lovebirds is a little thing that Phil and Jenny like to call
Phil and Jenny's recommended movie of the week. I like to watch movies.
Yes.
Okay, Melissa and I are going to be, I'm more of a critical kind of pessimist sort of thing. So we're going to give this a try. I'm going to try to talk about why we didn't like this one particular movie in a fair enough way, because we recognize that no matter how stinky a movie is, somebody really put their heart and soul into it. And I don't want to poop on it just because I didn't like it or
Right.
Melissa didn't like it. But this next segment is a little something that we like to call
Spoil that stinker. Spoil that stinker.
Spoil that stinker. And the stinker that we'll be spoiling this week is a little something called The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and which the Irish fellow, what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell
And
is
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole, like a star-studded cast here in this
Yes.
very artsy-fartsy movie. We were cruising through Netflix, and it came up on critically acclaimed, like 4.5 stars. I was
You
like,
never trust the rating on Netflix because after you watch the movie, it's like 1 star. And you're like, what?
yeah, I
It's
think
not-
there's some tomfoolery going on with the rating system on
Yeah.
Netflix, but it's under critically acclaimed, which automatically means it's going to be a little out there, a little artsy fartsy. But I was like, okay, I'm feeling artsy fartsy tonight, and I talked Melissa into it. It was definitely my choice, and now I've lost choosing privileges for a long
Man.
time because of Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Man, that was
But anyway, so we got this Irish fella, and we see him and this young lad who's probably like somewhere on the autism spectrum, very Asperger's or something, just not the normal emotions of a young child. And you got this guy with an Irish accent walking along the Cincinnati skyline down on in the Covington area, a crystal clear view of downtown Cincinnati as they're walking and talking and enjoying some ice cream. And then
Obviously
we learned
eating skyline chili.
They didn't show any skyline chili in this film, but there were many Cincinnati references. So Colin Farrell, he talks with an Irish accent, even though he's in Cincinnati. And we later find out that,
even though he's in Cincinnati.
yeah, I mean, what's an Irish guy doing in Cincinnati? If you're a good Irish doctor, wouldn't you be in New York City or something? Come on.
Not believable.
And so then we see Nicole Kidman's character come in later, and she's like Stepford wife action.
She's a doctor.
She's a
too.
doctor herself, but then we get a little glimpse into their like sex life, and
Not good.
it was bizarre. She asked him a question. It was very cryptic. She's like, "You want like full anesthesia tonight?" And he's like, "Yes, that would be great." And then so she just lays completely motionless.
Like she's dead.
She lays completely motionless on the bed, and then it kind of fades away. It's left to your imagination what sort of things
that's
they were
not
doing.
Right. He starts touching himself.
Oh, that's
to
right.
her looking dead. Her head's hanging off the bed, and you're like, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Maybe I repressed that part.
I was like,
Buried it down deep.
I was like, great, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we meet the kids. The little boy is
Only normal.
he's the only normal one in the family. He's
in the whole movie.
He's like a little, they're little rich kids, so they're like trying to get them to do chores. The little girl is supposed to walk the dog, and the little boy's supposed to water the plants. Okay, it's all right. So far, so good. And then we get to learn more and more. Eventually, we learn that the doctor, Colin Farrell, the little autistic or Asperger's kid that he's hanging out with, there's speculation as to whether or not he killed that kid's dad. So then this.
Well, no, it's because he was an alcoholic and he performed surgery on this kid.
Well, no.
Messed it up. He was drunk.
Ooh.
That's right. And so the kid starts to the strange kid starts to date the daughter, and they have this weird little fling going on. And he's like the kid starting to manipulate the doctor's kids to like just get out of their orbit a little bit and get out of their comfort zone. And then the kid confronts the dad about how I knew that you killed my father, and you have to choose which one of your family members you're going to kill. Which one you're going to kill, or else they're all going to die. And he describes the ways in which the kids are going to die. He's like, first they're going to lose their appetite, and then they're going to be paralyzed, and then they're going to bleed out of their eyes. And then so the doctor's like, yeah, right, whatever. And then the little boy falls sick first, and then one of the most disturbing parts of the movie is like the boy's like, I can't eat, and then the dad's like, you're faking. I know you're faking. He's like, you'll eat this food, or I'll make you eat your hair. I will literally cut off your hair and make you eat your own hair.
He's shoving donuts in his mouth.
It's like really
sounds like my dream.
Yeah,
sounds like Dustin's dream.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that kind of like physical abuse portrayed in movies before. Like the wife smacks the daughter, the husband's shoving donuts down the little kid's head and mouth and telling him he's going to cut his hair off and feed it to him. I've never heard that threat used in a movie. So props to coming up with a new gross, creepy threat to have somebody eat their own hair. And so the kids end up getting sick. They go to the hospital, and then they take him home, and then the doctor ties up the freaky semi-autistic kid to a chair, starts beating him up for answers, and then
oh my God. And then the kid freaking bites a chunk of his own arm out and spits it. And I was just like, I'm out. I can't.
This is horrible.
So gross. And then he shoots him in the arm, right?
yeah, he shoots the kid, and then
and Nicole Kidman comes down. She sees him. So she goes back and she starts cleaning all the blood out of Colin Farrell's car. Like, this is a normal thing.
yeah, that was the overarching thing that never really paid off. You were hoping for these people to be like
All the cops.
human at some point. There was just no human emotion. These were just very like cold, calculated people.
And then that night they're laying in bed because the boy had told them you have to kill one to save them all.
And they're just going to sleep with this kid chained in the basement. Like, no
Nicole
big
Kidman
deal.
is like, well, we could kill the boy because we can have another baby, but we can't have another older kid. And he's like, well, yeah. And you're just like, what are you talking about?
And then, so then the final scene of the movie is when the doctor, Colin, has the bright idea to put a pillowcase over his head. Whatever. He covers his eyes. He puts his wife in one chair. He puts his daughter in another chair, and his son in another chair. They're in like in a couch and 2 love seats in the living room. And then he just starts turning around in a circle and firing slugs in random directions until he hits someone. And then he hits his son, and the
little boy's like 7.
And the boy's dead. And then the movie's pretty much over.
Oh, and then you see them at a diner in the end, and it's just the 3 of them. And then you see the
evil
boy, and he sees that they've killed one of them.
That was like their proof that they killed one of them so that the curse could be lifted.
But we were like, what? At the end of it. So I Googled what the meaning is, and it's based on a Greek tragedy. And it's the killing of a sacred deer. And
they were supposed to like offer up a dude's daughter to some Greek god, and he ended up killing a deer instead of the daughter or something. So all in all,
yeah,
it was cool to see Cincinnati portrayed in the film. First of all, represent the natty.
And Indian Hill.
I would imagine that the house that the doctor lived in was in Indian Hill, so I'll have to look that up on IMDb. He had the crushed gravel and the nice like farmhouse looking action there. Very bubbly.
But the whole thing was so disturbing. I mean, the way they spoke to each other was so robotic with absolutely no emotion that we were like, are there any normal people in this movie at all? I mean, it was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
No. Sounds like a stinker.
Yeah. So that's why we chose that one for this week.
Spoil that stinker.
Oh, you got something else?
I think that if you're someone who really enjoys film, you would have understood that. But we were just like, we don't like it.
It's scary.
I don't know. It didn't have much redeeming quality to it.
But if you're someone who enjoys film and knows about Greek tragedy, probably.
I guess. I don't know. Lucky didn't like it, so I didn't like it.
Spoil that stinker. Spoil that stinker.
All right. This show is moving on to our final segment of the evening, a little something I like to call
New
Music. Is that you?
New Music Mondays.
Some of that definitely cut out, but I think it'd be worth playing again.
Oh, okay. It kind of clips there at the top of my falsetto.
New Music.
I think the Instagram clip will be better. I'll do it.
I can hear it coming out of that guy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. There's a little bit of a juxtaposition going on there. So Melissa has thrown out a recommendation for the first little ditty of New Music Mondays. Melissa, what are we going to be listening to here?
Isn't She Lovely by Tom Misch.
And who's Tom Misch?
I don't know.
He's a British guy.
You know who he is?
Yeah, he's good. He plays like loop stuff sometimes.
Plays what?
He like will loop like his guitar, and then he'll like sing on top of it.
That's
And he'll
so
play
cool
some
because
guitar.
in this one you can hear the traffic in the background. But I saw this on an Instagram story.
All right, here we go. Tom Mish, isn't she lovely?
You should play the whole thing. It's like a minute.
Oh, that's being executed.
Don't get twisted.
Is it full instrumental? Oh, I'm the only one without a flashlight.
All right, that's Tom Mish. Isn't she lovely? Very nice.
He's got a really good voice too, but it's one of those singing voices that you know that he's British. So some people that might not be their cup of tea. But I highly recommend him as well.
Clay heard me.
Does he sound like this?
Booyakasha! West End.
Clay heard me playing that song. He's like, "Oh, Phil will like that."
Oh.
Aw.
Betty.
All right, Phil, what's your contribution to New Music Mondays? And the reason we've got New Music Mondays is because one of the earlier episodes of Quarantine Tonight, I'm like, guys, I have the worst taste in music. I got to discover some new stuff. So this has been our idea to throw out some new bands and some new things I need
Get
to
him
be.
away from listening to Masco.
Hey, don't you dare talk about Future.
Well, we know how much you guys dislike guys named Dan based off of the movie Swiss Army Man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Daniels.
Two guys named Dan.
All the Dans there. This band is called Dan and Drum. Two kind of cool looking dudes that aren't taking themselves too seriously.
Goofy.
Album art looks like this. I think I wrote down what it's called somewhere.
Looks like a Corpse Bride.
I forget.
Anyway, this came up on Jenny's Spotify like new playlist of the week thing, and I'm gonna say it sounds kind of like Beck vocally, like it's kind of just like chill, like whisper talking kind of thing. It's called Yippee Ki Yay.
When you said Beck CD, that reminded me of the first CD that I ever had. Luke got me a copy of Beck Odelay. What was your first CD ever?
Probably Christina.
Phil, first CD ever?
I think it was Chubba Wubba Tub Thumper.
Nice.
What was yours, Jenny?
I don't know, but it probably was similar to yours, like a NSYNC or Spice Girls era.
Dusty Dust?
Oh, absolutely. Avril Lavigne, Skater Boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
The classics.
Whoa. Dustin is younger than us, just by like a little bit.
How
So,
old are you, Dustin?
I am 30.
Oh, I'm 28. So.
well, younger than Clay and I.
Uh-huh. All right, here's Dan and Drum. Dan and Drum, Yippee Ki
Yippee-ki-yay, high five, a lady coming into my life. Give me 1 minute, I'ma find a pretty patio off of the side, and we killing some time, but they're never gonna find me. I'm hiding. Give me 9 lives, give me 1 shot. I'll be sitting pretty in the saddle outside every time. There's a pity chance that the sun's hot. You know I'm the one, though. Born in the 1999. Put another one of these and I will call you back. I'm calling right now, right now. So I just love it when you feel me. I just love it when you feel me. Saying, oh, I get loud when you need me. When you low down when you're with me.
It's like the chorus says, yippee-ki-yay. Come on.
You're on the side, we're killing some time and we're killing some fun. Me, I'm hiding knives, I'm the one shot of.
Yeah.
Pretty in the saddle outside every time. 50 chance that the sun's high, but if you know in the 1999, feather in your bonnet, get a scarlet letter on you, then you better run and hide, cause I'll be counting outside. It's like 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5. I ain't really gonna find you. I was lying to you.
Yeah.
A piece of my color right now.
He's still going.
Now. And your visa, I'm a color there right now. Oh, I just love it when you fill me up. I just love it when you fill me up down in drama. Quarantine tonight is brought to you by Ollie Plays Golf, Ollie Goes Fishing, and San Bagari. Oh my God. Have you guys rescued any more dogs recently? Driving in your car, going real far to help the dogs. Lucky Luciano appreciates you. Helping the other poochie poos, getting 2 happy homes over there. He likes it with his little tiny baby yellow hair. This is Melissa. She is my wife. She has a catering company. That's right. It's called Sunflower Catering. Don't you know it's the best food show in the radio? She got a lot of food clients in the Texas area. Could use more if you want some hummy food. Yummy, yummy food. Tasty, tasty. Big thanks to Dustin down there, yo. Good times, yo. Good job winning that little game that Phil came up with his mind.
What the freak is that?
Yeah, that was it. You could have rhymed it right there, man.
Who the
Oh,
freak?
I finished it.
That was good. That was good.
Good rapping, Clay.
Thanks. I think that takes the place of our sing-along.
Yeah, that's
Want to have a sing-along. Did you have another song prepared?
No. Well, we'll save that for next week. This has been a thoroughly enjoyable and full episode.
What are you hiding?
Well, I think I can speak for all the listeners out there that we found Dustin to be a very pleasant guest this evening with very thoughtful answers and very open. And we
Delightful.
appreciate your time, and we feel like you're a great Packer and a great American.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the time. I've been following along, big fan of the show. So happy to be on and spend this time with you guys, over here on the West Coast, which is the best coast, unlike you massholes over there. So I'm a big fan of Texas, though.
Oh, yeah.
Done a lot of puking in Texas, haven't you?
Mhm.
Common.
I've spread some sushi and white rice all over that parking lot over there.
Yeah, I told Bill that that restaurant shockingly permanently closed.
Something about puking the parking lot happening a lot.
Yeah, weird. My shoes were clean, though.
That's what's important at the end of the day.
It is.
This is the kill button. Anything else for the record, ladies and gentlemen, for this episode of Quarantine?
Kayla for letting you
Yep.
creep away from the kids for
Yep.
an hour and a half or hour 40 minutes.
Hiding the kids in the other room over there. But yeah, it was fun being with you guys.
Don't eat too much saltwater taffy.
If Corona's got you home, sitting staring at your phone, will make you feel alright on quarantine tonight.
Oh, goodbye.